Part 1. The Guardian awakes. The machine opened its eyes for the first time. Cold white light filled his vision. He could hear the hum of power generators somewhere below him. His body floated in thick blue liquid inside a glass tube. Wires connected to his spine. Needles pushed into his arms. He did not know who he was. He did not know where he was. But somewhere deep inside his mind, he knew one thing. He was made for war. The glass tube cracked. Then it shattered. Blue liquid poured across the metal floor. The machine fell forward onto his hands and knees. He coughed and gasped, pulling air into lungs that had never breathed before. His skin was pale. His eyes were silver. When he looked at his hands, he saw they were human. But when he pressed his fingers against the floor, he felt the metal bend under his strength. A woman ran toward him. She was small, with gray hair and kind eyes. She wrapped a blanket around his shoulders and helped him stand. "Can you hear me?" she asked. Her voice was soft and warm. He nodded slowly. "Good," she said. "My name is Dr. Yuna. I created you. Your name is Taiho." Taiho. The name felt strange in his mind, like a word from a language he had forgotten. He tried to speak, but his throat was dry. Dr. Yuna gave him water. He drank it quickly. "Where am I?" he finally asked. "You are in Seoul," Dr. Yuna said. "Or what is left of it. We are underground in the last defense facility on Earth." Taiho looked around. The room was filled with machines and computers. Scientists in white coats watched him from a safe distance. Their faces showed fear and wonder at the same time. On the walls, screens displayed images of space. Ships with strange designs. Alien symbols. And Earth, surrounded by hundreds of enemy vessels. "The Veth Dominion," Dr. Yuna explained. "They came to our solar system 15 years ago. They destroyed our colonies on Mars and the Moon. They killed billions of people. Now they have surrounded Earth. They have given us 3 days to surrender. If we do not, they will destroy our planet." Taiho listened. The words entered his mind and connected to memories that were not his own. He saw flashes of battle. Korean soldiers fighting and dying against monsters with gray skin and black eyes. He felt their pain, their fear, their anger. These memories had been put inside him. They were part of who he was now. "What am I?" Taiho asked. Doctor. Yuna looked at him with something like love in her eyes. "You are Project Sentinel, the final hope of humanity. Your body is made from cloned human cells mixed with alien metal we took from crashed Veth ships. You are stronger and faster than any human. You can survive in space. You can heal from wounds that would kill normal people. But most important, you have a human heart and a human soul." A heavy door opened behind them. A tall man walked in. He wore a military uniform covered with medals. His face was hard and scarred. His eyes were cold. "General Dowan," Dr. Yuna said. "He is awake." The general looked at Taiho like a farmer looking at a tool. "Can he fight?" "He just woke up," Dr. Yuna said. "He needs time to. We do not have time." General Dowan stepped closer to Taiho. "The Veth have sent their final message. Surrender or die." "I do not plan to surrender. Do you understand what I am saying, machine?" Taiho met the general's eyes. He did not feel fear. He did not feel anger. He felt only a deep and quiet purpose. "I understand," Taiho said. "Good." The general turned and walked toward a large screen on the wall. He pressed a button and the image changed. It showed a massive ship at the center of the alien fleet. The ship was black and covered with weapons. It was larger than a city. "This is the Veth command ship," General Dowan said. "Their admiral is on board. If we destroy this ship, we break their chain of command. Their fleet will fall into chaos. It will buy Earth enough time to prepare a real defense. You want me to destroy that ship alone? Taiho asked. Yes. Dr. Yuna stepped forward. Dowan, this is madness. He has been alive for 5 minutes. You cannot send him on a suicide mission. He was built for this mission, the general replied. Every piece of him was designed for this moment. If he fails, humanity dies anyway. If he succeeds, we have a chance. Taiho looked at the ship on the screen. 400 enemy vessels. Millions of alien soldiers. And him, alone. I will go, he said. Dr. Yuna turned to him with tears in her eyes. Taiho, you do not have to do this. You are more than a weapon. You have the right to choose. Taiho thought about her words. Choice. It was a strange idea. He had been created for one purpose. But she was right. He could feel it inside him. The part of him that was human. The part that could say no. But he also felt something else. The memories of the soldiers who died fighting the Veth. Their last thoughts. Their love for their families. Their hope that someone would continue the fight. He carried their souls inside him. I choose to go, Taiho said. Not because I was built for it. Because it is right. Dr. Yuna hugged him. It was the first time anyone had ever touched him with kindness. He did not know how to respond, but he felt something warm spread through his chest. Later, he would learn that feeling was called love. 1 hour later, Taiho stood in a small hangar. A stealth shuttle waited for him. It was old and damaged, held together with repairs and hope. But it was fast and it was invisible to Veth sensors. Dr. Yuna came to say goodbye. She handed him a small metal disc. This contains a message from me, she said. Listen to it if you ever feel lost. Remember who you are. Taiho took the disc and put it in his pocket. He looked at her one last time. Dr. Yuna, he said. Will I feel it when I die? She smiled sadly. You will feel everything, Taiho. Pain, fear, hope, love. That is what makes you human. Taiho nodded. Then he turned and walked onto the shuttle. The door closed behind him. The engines roared to life. And humanity's last hope launched into the darkness of space. Flying toward 400 enemy ships and the greatest battle Earth had ever known. In the command center. General Dowan watched the shuttle disappear from radar. Do you think he can do it? He asked. Dr. Yuna wiped her eyes. I think he has to. Because if he cannot, no one can. Above Earth, the Veth fleet waited. They did not know that death was coming for them. They did not know that a single human creation would soon teach them the meaning of fear. The Guardian had awakened. And the universe would never be the same. Part 2. First Blood Among the Stars. The Veth command ship was a monster of black metal and death. Taiho watched it grow larger through his shuttle window. The ship stretched across space like a sleeping giant. Weapons covered every surface. Lights blinked in patterns he did not understand. Around it, hundreds of smaller ships moved in formation like fish around a whale. His shuttle was invisible to their sensors. But it was still a tiny thing flying into the mouth of a dragon. Taiho checked his weapons. He had 2 plasma pistols and a blade made from the same alien metal as his bones. Dr. Yuna had also given him small explosive charges. Enough to damage the ship's weapons, she said. Maybe enough to start a fire that would spread. The shuttle found a dark spot on the command ship's hull. A maintenance port that was not guarded. Taiho landed softly and opened the door. Cold space surrounded him, but his body did not care. He could survive in the void for hours. The alien metal in his blood carried oxygen to his brain. He climbed out of the shuttle and walked across the ship's surface. His magnetic boots held him to the metal. Above him, stars burned in the endless black. Below him, Earth glowed blue and green. Beautiful. fragile, worth fighting for. Taiho found an airlock and forced it open with his bare hands. He dropped inside the ship. The hallways were dark and wet. The air smelled like rotting meat. The Veth liked their ships warm and damp. It reminded Taiho of a cave full of snakes. He moved quietly, staying in the shadows. His silver eyes could see in the darkness better than any normal human. He passed rooms filled with strange machines. He passed sleeping quarters where Veth soldiers rested in pods of thick liquid. He counted them as he moved. Thousands of enemies on this ship alone. But he was not here to fight them all. He was here to hurt them, to break their weapons. By Earth-time dot, he found the main weapons control room after 20 minutes of searching. 2 Veth guards stood at the door. They were tall and thin with gray skin and eyes as black as space itself. They carried plasma rifles that could burn through steel. Taiho attacked before they could react. He moved faster than their eyes could follow. His blade cut through the first guard's throat. His fist crushed the second guard's skull. They fell without making a sound. Silver blood dripped from Taiho's blade. He felt nothing. These creatures had killed billions of humans. They deserved no mercy. Inside the weapons room, he found rows of computers and control panels. He did not understand Veth technology, but he understood destruction. He placed explosive charges on every major system. Then he set the timer for 5 minutes. He was about to leave when he heard a voice. "Please, help us." The voice was human, female, coming from somewhere below. Taiho should have ignored it. His mission was clear. Plant the bombs, escape, let the ship burn. But the voice pulled at something inside him. The memories of the soldiers he carried. They had families, daughters, sisters. He could not leave a human behind. He found a stairway leading down. The smell of rotting meat grew stronger. He entered a large room filled with cages. Inside the cages were humans. Dozens of them. Thin and weak and covered with wounds. The Veth had been keeping them as prisoners. Or perhaps as food. A young woman pressed her face against the bars of her cage. She had short black hair and fierce eyes that still held hope. "Who are you?" She whispered. "My name is Taiho. I am here to save you. You are one person. There are thousands of Veth on this ship. I know." Taiho began breaking the cage locks with his hands. "Can you fight?" The woman smiled. It was the smile of someone who had been waiting for this moment for a long time. "My name is Hana. I was a pilot before they captured me. Give me a weapon, and I will show you what I can do." Taiho freed all the prisoners. 32 humans, weak but alive. He gave Hannah one of his plasma pistols. She held it like she was born to carry it. The bombs exploded. The ship shook. Alarms screamed through the hallways. Red lights flashed everywhere. Taiho could hear Veth soldiers running and shouting in their ugly language. The weapons control room was on fire. "Good. Follow me," Taiho said. "We need to find a way off this ship." They moved through the chaos. Taiho led the group through hallways filled with smoke and panic. Veth soldiers appeared in front of them. Taiho killed them without slowing down. He was a machine of death, moving faster than their eyes could track. His blade sang through the air. His fist broke bones and crushed skulls. Hannah fought beside him. She was not as strong or fast, but she was brave and clever. She shot enemies that Taiho missed. She helped the weaker prisoners keep moving. Together, they were a good team. They reached a hangar filled with Veth shuttles. Taiho picked the largest one. It could hold all the prisoners. But before they could board, the hangar doors opened. 50 Veth soldiers poured in, weapons raised. And behind them walked a Veth unlike any Taiho had seen. This one was taller, older, covered with scars and medals. His eyes burned with cold intelligence. "I am Admiral Keth. the Veth said in broken human language. "Commander of this fleet, you have damaged my ship. You have killed my soldiers. You are impressive for a primitive species." Taiho stepped forward. "Let these humans go. Your fight is with me." Admiral Keth laughed. It was an ugly sound. "You think you matter? You are one creature. I command 400 ships. Your planet will burn no matter what you do here today. Then why are you afraid?" Taiho asked. The Admiral's eyes narrowed. "I am not afraid. You brought 50 soldiers to face one enemy. Your hands are shaking. You have never met anything like me before." Taiho raised his blade. "You should be afraid." He attacked. The battle was brutal and fast. Taiho moved through the soldiers like a storm through leaves. Plasma fire burned the air around him, but he was too fast to hit. His blade cut through armor like paper. His fists crushed helmets and broke bones. Silver blood and gray blood mixed on the floor. The prisoners watched with wide eyes. They had never seen anything like this. One creature against 50, and the one was winning. Hana shot any soldier who tried to flank Taiho. She screamed with rage and joy as she fought. After months in a cage, she was finally free. Finally fighting back. When it was over, Admiral Keth stood alone. His soldiers lay dead around him. His uniform was splashed with blood. For the first time in his long life, he felt true fear. "What are you?" he whispered. Taiho walked toward him. "I am humanity's answer to your cruelty. I am the nightmare you created when you attacked our world. Remember my face, Admiral, because more like me are coming." He did not kill the Admiral. He wanted the message to spread. He wanted every Veth in the fleet to know what happened here today. Taiho and the prisoners boarded the stolen shuttle. Hana took the pilot's seat. The engines roared to life. They flew out of the burning command ship and into open space. Behind them, the Veth flagship listed to one side. Fire poured from its weapons bays. Escape pods launched in every direction. The most powerful ship in the enemy fleet was crippled. Admiral Keth watched them escape. His communicator buzzed with reports of damage and death. But he did not answer. He only stared at the small shuttle flying toward Earth. "Impossible," he said quietly. "This is impossible." But it was not impossible. It was just the beginning. The first blood had been drawn, and humanity's nightmare had become the aliens' nightmare instead. On the shuttle, Hana looked at Taiho with new eyes. "Thank you," she said, "for saving us, for giving us hope." Taiho watched Earth grow larger in the window. He thought about Dr. Yuna's words, about feeling everything, about being human. "We are not safe yet," he said. "This was only one ship. The war is just starting." Hana smiled. "Good. I have a lot of anger to burn." The shuttle raced toward Earth. Behind them, the Veth fleet fell into chaos. And across the stars, the first whispers began to spread. Whispers about a human devil with silver eyes who could not be stopped. The legend of Taiho had begun. Part 3. The myth begins. Stories travel faster than ships in space. Within 1 week, every corner of the Veth Dominion knew about the attack on the flagship. Slaves whispered to each other in the darkness of their prisons. They spoke of a human monster with silver eyes who walked through fire and could not be killed. They called him the human devil. Some said he was a ghost. Some said he was a god. Some said he was just a man who refused to die. The Veth tried to stop the stories. They punished anyone who spoke of the attack. They broadcast messages saying the flagship was damaged by an accident, not enemy. But the truth was stronger than their lies. The slaves had been silent for centuries. Now they had something to hope for. Taiho knew nothing about the stories. He was too busy trying to survive. The stolen Veth shuttle had taken damage during the escape. It could not reach Earth. Instead, Taiho and Hana crash-landed on a small planet called Mirror 7. It was one of humanity's lost colonies. Conquered by the Veth 10 years ago, the crash destroyed the shuttle. Taiho protected the other prisoners with his body. His healing abilities saved his life, but he was badly hurt. For 3 days, he could barely move. Hana stayed by his side, keeping watch while he recovered. "You should leave me," Taiho said on the second night. "Find the other humans on this planet. Get to safety." Hana shook her head. "You saved my life. I do not abandon people who saved my life. I am not a person. I am a weapon. Weapons do not choose to rescue prisoners. Weapons do not feel pain." She touched his hand gently. "You are more human than you think, Taiho." On the 4th day, they found the resistance. A group of armed humans surrounded them in the forest. Their leader was a woman named Jisoo. She was tall and strong with scars on her face and distrust in her eyes. She had been fighting the Veth since she was a teenager. She had seen too many false hopes die. "Who are you?" Jisoo demanded, pointing her rifle at Taiho's chest. "My name is Taiho. I came from Earth. Earth?" Jisoo laughed bitterly. "Earth abandoned us 10 years ago. No ships have come from Earth since the Veth took our colony. Earth did not abandon you. Earth was under attack. They could not send help." Taiho stood slowly. His wounds were mostly healed now. "But I am here now. I want to help you fight." Jisoo studied him with suspicious eyes. She noticed his silver eyes, his pale skin, the way he moved, too smooth and too fast to be normal. "What are you?" she asked. "He is Project Sentinel," Hana said. "A weapon built from human and alien technology. He destroyed the Veth command ship alone. I saw it with my own eyes." The resistance fighters whispered among themselves. They had heard the stories. The human devil. Could this be him? Jisoo was not impressed. "One man cannot win a war, even a strange one like you. We have been fighting for 10 years. We have lost thousands of people. The Veth are too many, too strong." "Then let me prove myself," Taiho said. "Show me your greatest enemy on this planet. I will destroy them." Jisoo thought for a long moment. Then she smiled coldly. "There is a Veth garrison in the valley below. 200 soldiers. They control the food supply for the entire region. We have tried to attack them 6 times. We have failed every time. Many good people died trying. Take me there." That night, Taiho walked into the garrison alone. The Veth had built walls and towers around their base. They had sensors and alarms everywhere. They thought they were safe. They were wrong. Taiho moved like a shadow through their defenses. He killed the guards silently, one by one. He disabled the alarms. He opened the gates from inside. Then he walked into the center of the garrison and let them see him. 200 Veth soldiers faced him under the cold moonlight. Their commander laughed and gave the order to fire. Plasma bolts filled the air. The ground exploded around Taiho, but he was already moving. He was faster than their eyes could follow, faster than their weapons could track. His blade cut through armor. His fists broke bones. He did not fight like a soldier. He fought like a force of nature. The battle lasted 12 minutes. When it was over, Taiho stood alone in a field of bodies. He was covered with silver blood and gray blood. His clothes were burned and torn, but he was alive. And 200 Veth soldiers were dead. From the hills above, the resistance watched in shock and silence. Jisoo lowered her viewing scope. Her hands were shaking. She had seen impossible things in her life, but this was beyond anything she could imagine. "What is he?" one of her fighters whispered. "He is exactly what he said," Jisoo answered slowly. "He is a weapon. And he is on our side." The next morning, Jisoo welcomed Taiho into the resistance. Word of his victory spread across the planet within days. Humans who had been hiding came out of the shadows. They wanted to fight alongside the human devil. They wanted to taste freedom again. But humans were not the only ones watching. A young Veth named Ren came to the resistance camp one night. He carried no weapons. He held his hands up to show he was not a threat. The guards nearly killed him, but Taiho stopped them. "Why are you here?" Taiho asked. Ren was different from other Veth. His eyes held sadness instead of cruelty. His voice was soft and careful. "I do not believe in the Dominion anymore," Ren said. "The Empire tells us that other species are weak and stupid, that we have the right to conquer them. But I have seen humans. I have seen them love and sacrifice and fight for each other. You are not weak. You are beautiful." "Beautiful?" Jisoo said with disgust. "Your people have enslaved us for 10 years. They killed my family. And you think we are beautiful?" "Yes." Ren looked at her with honest eyes. "And I think my people are wrong. I want to help you. I have information about the Emperor, about his weakness." Taiho listened carefully. "What weakness?" "The Emperor is not a god," Ren explained. "He is a parasite. He feeds on fear. The fear of his own people keeps him powerful. But if the people stop fearing him, if they find hope, his power will fade." "Hope," Taiho repeated. The word echoed in his mind. He thought about Dr. Yuna, about the message she gave him, about what she said made him human. "The slaves are already whispering about you," Ren continued. "They call you the human devil. They say you cannot be killed. They say you are coming to destroy the Emperor. This terrifies the ruling class. They have never seen rebellion in their subjects before." Hannah stepped forward. "Are you saying that Taiho is not just a weapon? He is a symbol?" "Yes," Ren nodded. "The greatest weapon against tyranny is not a blade. It is hope. If the slaves believe they can be free, they will fight for freedom. If they believe they can win, they will rise up." Taiho understood now. His purpose was larger than he thought. He was not just built to kill enemies. He was built to inspire allies, to show the galaxy that monsters could be beaten, that tyrants could fall, that one person standing against darkness could light a fire in millions of hearts. He walked to the center of the camp where a communication device sat. It was old and damaged, but Ren said he could boost its signal to reach across Veth space. "What are you doing?" Jisoo asked, sending a message. Taiho activated the device. Static filled the air. Then his voice went out across the stars, reaching ships and planets and slaves in every corner of the Dominion. "My name is Taiho. I am a human from Earth. I destroyed your flagship. I killed your admiral's soldiers. And I am not finished. I am coming for your Emperor. I am coming to break the chains you put on 100 worlds. And I am not alone. Every slave who hears this message, every prisoner who dreams of freedom, stand with me. Rise up. Fight back. They cannot kill all of us. They cannot stop all of us. Together, we will burn their empire to ash." He ended the transmission. The camp was silent. Then Jisoo began to clap. Slowly at first. Then others joined. Soon the whole camp was cheering, shouting, crying with joy and hope. Hana stood beside Taiho. "You just declared war on the entire Dominion." Taiho nodded. "Good. They started this war when they attacked Earth. I am going to finish it." Across the galaxy, slaves heard the message. And for the first time in centuries, they began to believe. The myth of the human devil was no longer just a story. It was a revolution. Part 4. The coalition of the forgotten. The galaxy was on fire. Taiho's message spread, like a disease, through the Veth Dominion. On 12 different worlds, slaves rose against their masters. Factories burned. Prisons broke open. Species that had been silent for centuries suddenly remembered how to scream. The Veth sent soldiers to crush the rebellions, but for every fire they put out, 2 more started. For the first time in 10,000 years, the Empire was afraid. Taiho did not rest. He traveled from planet to planet with Hana, Jesu, and Ren. Wherever he went, hope followed. He freed slave camps. He destroyed military bases. He gave weapons and training to anyone brave enough to fight. His name became a war cry. When rebels charged into battle, they shouted Taiho and believed they could not lose. But Taiho knew the truth. They were still too weak. The Veth had millions of soldiers and thousands of ships. The rebellion had passion and courage, but passion and courage were not enough. They needed allies. Real allies with real power. On a frozen moon called Tessari Prime, Taiho found what he was looking for. The Tessari were the first species conquered by the Veth 10,000 years ago. They were small and fragile with blue skin and large eyes. But they were also brilliant. Before the Veth came, they had built starships that could cross the galaxy. They had created art and music that made the universe weep with beauty. Now they worked in mines and factories, their spirits crushed under centuries of slavery. Their leader was an ancient creature named Elder Mach. He was so old that his skin had turned from blue to gray. His eyes had seen the fall of his civilization. They had also seen 100 failed rebellions. He did not believe in hope anymore. "Why should I help you?" Elder Mach asked when Taiho came to him. "The Veth are eternal. Every rebellion fails. My people have suffered enough. Your people have survived enough," Taiho corrected. "There is a difference. Survival is existing without living. You taught your children to keep their heads down, to obey, to accept their chains. That is not life. That is slow death." Elder Mach's eyes flashed with old anger. "You dare lecture me? You who have been alive for mere months. I have watched generations of my people die. I have earned my despair. Then use it." Taiho stepped closer. "Use your despair as fuel. You remember what your people were before the Veth. You remember their glory. Fight to bring that glory back. Fight so your grandchildren can look up at the stars and dream again." The old Tessari was silent for a long time. When he finally spoke, his voice was heavy with emotion. "If I join you, my people will die. If you do not join us, your people will never truly live." Elder Mach closed his eyes. A tear rolled down his wrinkled cheek. When he opened them again, there was fire inside. "Tell me what you need." The Tessari joined the rebellion. Their engineers began building weapons. Their scientists shared knowledge they had hidden from the Veth for centuries. For the first time, the rebels had technology that could match their enemies. But Taiho needed more than technology. He needed warriors. A message came from Earth. It was Dr. Yuna. She looked older and tired, but her eyes still held love. "Taiho," she said through the communication screen, "I am so proud of what you have done." The Veth pulled back their fleet to fight the rebellions. Earth has time to breathe. But I must tell you something important. "What is it?" "You were not the only sentinel. We built others before you. They were faster and stronger, but their minds were unstable. We thought they were too dangerous. We put them to sleep and hid them on different planets. But now," she paused, "now we need them. I am sending you the location of one. Her name is Mirai. Taiho found Mirai on a Veth prison planet. She was stored in a vault deep underground, frozen in a glass tube like he had been. But where Taiho had been confused when he woke up, Mirai was not. She opened her eyes and immediately started fighting Dot. It took Taiho 3 minutes to calm her down. She did not trust him. She did not trust anyone. Her programming was different from his. Where he was built with soldier memories that taught him compassion, she was built with killer memories that taught her efficiency. Who are you? She demanded. Her eyes were silver like his, but colder. I am your brother, Taiho said. We were made by the same person. We have the same purpose. My purpose is to destroy enemies. I need nothing else. I thought the same thing once. Then I learned that destroying enemies is not enough. We must give people something to fight for, not just something to fight against. Myre studied him. Her face showed no emotion. You are weak. Emotions make you weak. Emotions make me human. And being human is what gives people hope. She did not agree with him, but she agreed to fight beside him. That was enough for now. Together, Taiho and Myre were unstoppable. They cut through Veth armies like fire through paper. The rebels called them the Silver Twins. Stories of their battles spread across the galaxy. More species joined the rebellion. More worlds broke free. The coalition of the Forgotten was born. Humans, Tazari, and a dozen other species united under one banner. They shared weapons, ships, and soldiers. They planned and trained and prepared for the final battle. On Earth, Commander Suho took charge of humanity's last warship, the Baekdu. It was old and damaged, held together with repairs and prayers. But it was still the most powerful human ship ever built. Suho flew it to the Coalition fleet, bringing Earth's last soldiers to join the fight. The Coalition now had 100 ships. The Veth Dominion had thousands. But numbers were not everything. The Coalition had something the Veth did not. They had purpose. They had unity. They had hope. And they had Taiho. But the Veth Emperor was not blind. He saw the danger growing. He knew that hope was more dangerous than any weapon. So he sent his greatest assassin to end it. They called this assassin the Silence. No one knew what species it was. No one had ever seen its face. It had killed rebellions before they could begin. It had murdered leaders and broken movements. It never failed. The Silence hunted Taiho across 3 star systems. It studied his tactics, learned his patterns, watched him from shadows. It killed rebels who got too close to Taiho, leaving their bodies as warnings. Taiho felt the Silence watching. He could sense eyes on him wherever he went. But he could not find his hunter. The Silence was patient. It was waiting for the perfect moment. That moment came on the eve of the final battle. The Coalition fleet gathered in the empty space between stars. 100 ships faced a future that seemed impossible. The Veth homeworld waited ahead, defended by their entire armada. Tomorrow they would attack. Tomorrow they would either free the galaxy or die trying. Taiho stood on the bridge of the Baekdu with Commander Suho, Hana, Jisu, Ren, Elder Mok, and Mireille. They looked at the stars together. So many worlds out there. So many souls waiting for freedom. Are you afraid? Hana asked Taiho. Yes, he admitted. But fear is not the enemy. Fear tells us what matters. What I fear is not death. I fear failing the people who believe in us. Myre looked at him. Something had changed in her silver eyes. Something warmer. You were right, she said quietly. About emotions? I did not understand before, but I do now. What changed? I watched you inspire a galaxy. I watched broken people stand up and fight because of you. That is not weakness. That is the greatest strength. Taiho nodded. Then you understand what we are fighting for. Yes. Myre placed her hand on his shoulder. It was the first time she had ever touched him willingly. We fight so that others do not have to. We fight so that children can grow up free. We fight because someone has to stand against the darkness. Commander Suho turned to face them all. His voice was strong and steady. Tomorrow, we attack the heart of tyranny. Many of us will not survive. But what we do tomorrow will echo through history. Our children's children will tell stories about this battle. They will remember that when the universe seemed hopeless, we chose to fight anyway. Hannah raised her weapon. For Earth. Jisoo raised hers. For the colonies. Elder Mock bowed his head. For the forgotten. Ren, the Veth defector, spoke last. For a future where species do not enslave each other. For a galaxy united in peace. Taiho looked at them all. His family. Not by blood, but by choice. They had come from different worlds, different species, different stories. But they stood together now. This is what we were made for, Mireille said. Taiho shook his head. No, this is what we chose. Outside the windows, the stars burned cold and bright. Tomorrow would bring fire and death and the fate of the galaxy. But tonight, there was only silence and purpose and the quiet courage of those who refused to bow. The coalition was ready. The final battle was about to begin. Part 5. The Devil's Reckoning. The Veth. Homeworld was a planet of eternal darkness. It orbited a dying red star that gave almost no light. The surface was covered with black towers and twisted cities. Billions of Veth lived there, ruled by fear, controlled by the Emperor who had crushed their spirits over 10,000 years. They had forgotten what freedom felt like. They had forgotten that they were once a peaceful species before their Emperor corrupted them with hatred. Above this dark world, the largest fleet in history waited. Thousands of Veth warships formed a wall of metal and weapons. They believed that they were unbeatable. They had never lost a war. They had never faced an enemy like this. The coalition fleet jumped out of hyperspace at dawn. 100 ships against thousands. It should have been suicide. But the coalition did not fight like normal armies. They fought like people with nothing to lose and everything to gain. Commander Suho shouted orders from the bridge of the Baekdu. Tazari engineers worked miracles keeping the engines running. Rebel pilots from a dozen species flew small fighters into impossible spaces, dodging enemy fire and striking weak points. The battle was chaos. Ships exploded like dying stars. Plasma fire painted the darkness with colors of death. The Veth fought hard, but the coalition fought harder. They were not fighting for conquest. They were fighting for survival, for freedom, for the future of the galaxy. While the fleets battled above, Taiho led a strike team to the planet below. Their ship was small and fast. Hana flew it through the storm of weapons with skill that seemed impossible. Beside Taiho sat Mireille, Ren, and 20 of the best coalition soldiers. They all knew they might not survive. None of them cared. The ship crashed through the atmosphere and landed hard near the Emperor's citadel. It was a massive fortress of black stone that rose from the ground like a giant claw reaching for the sky. Inside waited the Emperor and his personal guards, the most dangerous creatures in the Dominion. "Stay close," Taiho said as they entered the fortress. "Kill anything that moves." The guards came in waves. Hundreds of elite Veth soldiers trained from birth to protect their master. They were faster and stronger than normal Veth. Their weapons could punch through starship armor. Against any normal army, they would have won easily. But Taiho and Mireille were not normal. The Silver Twins moved like ghosts through the enemy ranks. Their blades sang songs of death. Their fists broke bones and crushed skulls. Silver blood and gray blood painted the walls. Coalition soldiers fell, giving their lives to push forward. Each death bought time. Each sacrifice mattered. They reached the throne room doors. Massive gates of black metal blocked their path. Ancient symbols covered the surface, warning of death to any who entered without permission. Taiho kicked the doors down. The throne room was vast and empty. A single light shone from above, illuminating a massive throne made of bones. Sitting on the throne was something that barely looked alive. The Emperor was not a creature of flesh. It was a thing of shadow and hunger. A parasite that had merged with its host long ago and become something terrible. But Taiho did not care about the Emperor. His eyes were fixed on the figure standing between him and the throne. The silence. The assassin finally revealed itself. It wore armor of black glass that absorbed all light. Its face was hidden behind a smooth mask with no features. When it moved, it made no sound at all. And its eyes were silver. Another sentinel, Taiho realized. They captured one of us and made you their weapon. The silence tilted its head. When it spoke, its voice was empty and cold. I am not captured. I am perfected. They removed my weakness, my emotions, my humanity. I am what you could have been if you were not broken. I am not broken. I am alive. The silence attacked. The battle between them was the most violent thing Taiho had ever experienced. The silence was faster than him, stronger, more precise. Every strike Taiho made was blocked. Every defense was broken. Blood poured from wounds that healed too slowly. My Ray joined the fight. Together, the two siblings faced the assassin. They moved in perfect coordination, reading each other's thoughts, covering each other's weaknesses. But even together, they were losing. The silence was simply too powerful. Hannah watched from the doorway. She could not help. Her weapons were useless against the sentinels. She could only watch and pray. The silence knocked Taiho to the ground and stood over him, blade raised for the killing strike. You inspired hope in the galaxy, the silence said. That hope dies with you. My Ray threw herself between them. The blade meant for Taiho went through her chest. No. Taiho screamed. My Ray fell to her knees. Silver blood poured from her wound. She was dying. Even Sentinel healing could not save her now. But she smiled. For the first time since she woke up, she truly smiled. I understand now, she whispered. What you said about emotions. About being human. She reached up and touched Taiho's face. I feel everything. Pain, fear, love. I finally feel it all. Do not leave me, Taiho begged. Please, I just found you. You gave me something worth dying for. Her eyes began to close. Now finish this. Free the galaxy. And remember me. She died in his arms. Something inside Taiho broke. And something else was born. He had felt anger before. He had felt purpose. But he had never felt this. A fire that burned hotter than any star. A rage that could move mountains. He stood up slowly. The silence watched him with no emotion. A sacrifice means nothing, the assassin said. You still cannot defeat me. Taiho raised his blade. Watch me. He attacked with fury that shattered the air. Every strike was faster than before. Every movement was stronger. Moray's death had unlocked something inside him. The full power of what he was. The complete potential of a human heart combined with alien technology. The silence could not keep up. For the first time, the assassin felt fear. It tried to block, to dodge, to escape. But Taiho was everywhere. His blade cut through the black armor. His fist crushed the glass mask. The final strike took off the silence's head. Taiho stood over his fallen enemy, breathing hard. Then he turned to face the Emperor. The creature on the throne laughed. It was an ugly sound, like bones breaking. Impressive, the Emperor said. You destroyed my greatest weapon. But it does not matter. I have lived for 10,000 years. I have eaten the souls of 1 billion slaves. You cannot kill what I have become. I am not here to kill you, Taiho said. He walked toward the throne, step by step. I am here to show your people that you can bleed. My people love me. They worship me. Your people fear you. And I am going to end that fear. Taiho attacked. The Emperor was powerful. It had survived for millennia by feeding on fear. But Taiho was not afraid. He had lost his sister. He had lost friends. He had nothing left to fear. Their battle shook the fortress. Walls cracked. The ceiling began to fall. The Emperor threw psychic attacks that would have killed any normal creature. But Taiho pushed through them. He pushed through the pain, the nightmares, the visions of death. His blade found the Emperor's heart. The creature screamed. It was a sound that echoed across the planet, across space, across the entire Dominion. Every slave felt it. Every soldier felt it. The Emperor was dying, and they knew it. But the death of such a creature was not gentle. Psychic energy exploded outward. It caught Taiho in its grip and began tearing him apart. He could feel his mind breaking, his body failing. Hannah ran to him. She grabbed his hand and pulled with all her strength. "Come back," she screamed. "Do not leave me. You promised we would see the future together." Her voice reached him through the darkness. Her hand anchored him to life. He held on to her with everything he had. The Emperor died. The psychic storm faded. Taiho collapsed in Hana's arms. Barely alive. Above the planet, the Veth fleet fell into chaos. The Emperor's psychic control had been the only thing holding them together. Without it, they could not coordinate. They could not fight. One by one, the ships began to surrender. The war was over. The coalition had won. 1 year later, Earth was rebuilding. Cities rose from the ashes. Ships traveled freely between worlds. The coalition had become the Galactic Council, a government where every species had a voice. Humans were founding members, respected and honored for starting the revolution that freed the galaxy. Taiho stood at a quiet grave on a hillside. Outside Seoul, Dr. Yuna had died peacefully 3 months ago. She had lived long enough to see her creation save everything she loved. Her last words were simple. "I am so proud of you, son." Hana walked up the hill to join him. She wore a council uniform now. She had become a diplomat, building bridges between species that had once been enemies. "The memorial ceremony is starting soon," she said. "They want you to speak." Taiho looked at the grave. "She never wanted me to be famous. She just wanted me to be happy. Are you happy?" He thought about the question. He thought about Mireille, who died giving him the chance to win. He thought about Dr. Yuna, who loved him like a son. He thought about all the soldiers who fell so others could be free. "I am grateful," he finally said. "Grateful for every moment, every breath, every choice." Hannah took his hand. "What will you do now? The war is over. You could rest." Taiho looked up at the stars. They sparkled in the evening sky, beautiful and endless. The Dominion is gone. But there are other empires out there, other tyrants, other worlds that need hope. He squeezed her hand. "I cannot rest while others suffer." Hannah smiled. "I figured you would say that. Will you come, W?"